Today we're interviewing Dr. Martin, the MHS principal, and Luke Robleski, the musical director of Soulfish Acapella. So let's have a look. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2.
Hello MHS. Today I am here in the principal office at MHS with someone who everyone here knows and loves, Dr. Martin.
Well, thank you for even inviting me into my own office.
Well, thank you for allowing us to do this interview today.
My pleasure.
Now, you were a student here at MHS, right?
That was many years ago, but I graduated in 1974.
Yeah, like the other day I actually saw a picture of you from when you were in high school. Funny thing, it was in the dance room. You were on the wrestling team, right?
I was.
Alright, so how has the high school changed since you graduated in 1974?
Well, that's a pretty large question because it's changed quite a bit. To begin with, back in 1974, we were only a 3-year high school, grades 10, 11, and 12. I think it was around 1992, give or take a year, that we became a 4-year high school, and the middle school became its present configuration.
Yeah, well, those dang freshmen, right?
Well, it does make things a little bit different that way. We also back then had only one cafeteria room. Those other 2 additions were built in the late 90s, and then in the early, about 10 years later, the 3rd edition. But there used to be a patio outside the cafeteria. And that patio back in the 70s, the laws were a little bit different. It was called the smoking patio because students and faculty could go out there and actually smoke. Society has changed a lot. The high school has changed a lot.
That's actually really interesting. I think that really shows how times have changed since you were here.
Well, there's no question about it. And yet the one thing that has remained constant is the reputation of the high school as a great academic institution, and its offerings in so many different avenues, whether it's athletics, the arts, music, and now our television studio.
So, what inspired you to become principal?
Well, that in some part was a natural evolution of my years first as a teacher here. I came back here and started teaching in 1981. I taught math for 20 years, and then as it turned out, the high school was looking for a math supervisor, K through 12. Actually, it was a K through 12 position, and it was vacant for over a year. And at that point, I was asked to apply for that job. I applied for that job, and within a couple of years, the vice principal job opened up, which was a lot to do with scheduling and the computers, and I somewhat naturally gravitated towards that. And when the principal job opened up, my predecessor, Dr. Nigel, who was retiring, it was almost a natural move to at least apply for this position.
Oh, so that's who the field was named after, right?
Dr. Nigel, when he retired, they named the football field after him.
We should name a field for you.
Well, I appreciate those sentiments, but let's reserve that for either retirement from school or life before we start thinking about naming fields at all.
Well, now I know what I'm naming my backyard.
Well, thank you. I appreciate those sentiments.
Okay, so what drew you really back to MHS?
Well, several different factors. Part of it, of course, was comfort. Part of it was to give back to a place that had given me so much. And again, maybe it was somewhat natural because at the time I was looking for a place to teach, a place I could coach several sports, and Milburn had an opening, and I applied for it.
All right, so what did you get a PhD in?
Well, I don't want to get too technical on this, but actually it's in education. To give you a simple answer, and technically it's in education they call doctorates EDDs, doctorate in education, but it's basically education administration management. And leadership is a program I took at Seton Hall University to get my doctorate.
Well, thank you for being with us today, Dr. Myron.
Well, again, thank you for inviting me. It's enjoyable listening to the questions and seeing this whole process.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's time to listen to Luke Robleski and see what he has to say about solfege a cappella.
Hello, I am here in a dank hallway with Mr. Luke Robleski, the music director of Solfege. Now, Luke, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Pleasure for you to have me on. Thanks for having me.
So, Luke, what is Solfege?
Solfege is Millburn High School's student-run a cappella group. We have students from freshman to senior year all participating in singing a little bit. It's really fun.
Oh, so how long has this group existed?
Going on, starting in 2008, so we are entering our 9th year, almost a decade.
And you've been in this group this is your 4th year?
Yeah, my entire high school career.
All right, so what made you want to initially join Solfege?
Man, I loved singing ever since I was 4 or 5. I've always loved to sing. I always loved doing it with my family, with my friends, wherever I could. So when I got to high school, it was just kind of natural that I joined a singing group.
Of course. And so after all these years, how does it feel to be at the, to have worked your way to the top? Well, I mean, not the top, since of course Jesse is still above you, but I mean the top as in you're the one who's organizing and arranging all this music.
It's really awesome. I look back when I was a freshman and I was trying to do everything I could to help the group progress as a freshman. And now I'm a senior and I'm still doing that, but now it's it has a title. It's really humbling for me to finally get some recognition, but also still help the group. That's always been my priority.
Of course. And so you'd say you're pretty passionate about acapella, right?
I'd say fairly, yeah.
All right, so do you have an interest or are you considering continuing a path in acapella after your graduation?
Definitely music. Maybe not acapella as a career, but as a hobby, I'd definitely love to do it maybe outside of a job. Definitely in college, I'd like to join a group. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what it'll have in the future.
Of course. So over these 4 years, what would you say is your favorite song that you either sang or written in Solfege?
Oh man, there's been so many. I think a very special one for me personally would have to be in my freshman year. We did Can't Hold Us by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Oh, I saw that performance.
Yeah.
I was in middle school at the time. I
Right.
thought that was incredible.
Thank you. It was a lot of firsts for me. It was the first song that I ever arranged that we put on stage, which was awesome. It was the first song I soloed in, which was awesome. And it was also the first summer concert, Save, the final concert that Solfege does every year. It was the first time I was in one of those. It was a lot of firsts, and I guess I have a lot of fond memories about it.
All right, so now in addition to Solfege, you are also someone who typically does theater at Millburn High School, right?
Yeah, I do all the musicals, and yeah.
Are you planning on auditioning for the current Limelight spring production of Chorus Line?
Yes, I think I'm going to audition.
Do you have any parts in mind?
No, I think the best thing for me to do is just to prepare the songs that I can the best, and hopefully the directors and the casting will put me in the right part, and I'll try and make that part as good as I can.
Of course. It's been a pleasure having you here, Luke.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me once again.
Once again, we tried to interview Mr. Drexel, but guess what happened?
He's not here again. You know what that means. Exposed.
And his name is John C.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching this video. If you want to learn more about Have a Good Morning and a Pleasant Afternoon, click right here. To Subscribe to our channel, click right here. And if you want to learn more about Studio 462, click right here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next episode. This is Drexpose 2, Take 4.
He's not here again. You know what that means. Exposed.